Welcome back to my kitchen. I shown you before how I make tomato sauce and things like that, but today I'm gonna show you everything that I harvested as to how they're gonna get put away. So here's everything that I harvested today. There are some carrots which are really dirty, so I'm gonna just cut these off and put this into the sink for washing later. And I'm gonna start a pile for the compost. I'll just put them here for now, because I'll just put it back into this basket and take it out later. Same thing goes for the beets. I'll just cut off the greens. I don't need the greens. Some people do, but by the time I pick my beets, the greens are not so appetizing. And you saw me picking the cucumbers, so I'm gonna set those aside. First I'm gonna wash them. And keep in mind that I do have some cucumbers in the fridge that I harvested in previous days, a few days ago. In the meantime, I can rinse off the basil. And put those aside. That will be used for canning tomato. Let's wash the cucumbers and set those aside as well. I'm gonna have space issues, so I'm gonna be juggling things as I go. It's not a big kitchen, so next is peppers. I already have some hot peppers in here that I've been drying, just laying them out. I'm gonna put these in here. Okay, next is gonna be the green beans, which is not that much. So the green beans I'm not gonna preserve. I'm gonna just put it away for a meal for this evening or tomorrow. I'll decide what I want to do. I think I'm gonna have it with meatloaf. When I make meatloaf and mashed potatoes, this will be the other side dish. That's definitely enough for 2 people, right? Pretty good. So I'm gonna lay these out so they can actually dry, because I don't want to put wet stuff into the fridge. Just lay it on a towel. Right behind you. Now the tomatoes. So all the stuff that I need to compost will go back into the basket. Oops, I lost one. So what I'm going to do now, as I wash the tomatoes, A lot of them is gonna be trash because they were on the vine too long. But anything that I keep, I'm gonna put it into my pot for the tomato sauce, as you have guessed correctly. And anything that I cut off will go into this basket for the compost. This part is still good for sauce, right? Most of what I harvested today will go into sauce, but I also have still a bunch of stuff in the freezer, just like last time when I made tomato sauce. And also I do have some tomatoes that still need to be ripened more. I'm gonna put this on my tray with the others to ripen. Anything that has gone too far is trash. I'm not gonna try to put anything that's even smell like rotting, right? This is still good. This can take more time for this one. I might keep a couple of these nice ones because I'm planning to make some, guess what? Tomato pie. Since I'll be dealing with the tomatoes, I'm gonna put them on the stove with the frozen tomatoes, and I'm gonna start on my tomato sauce immediately. I'm gonna add my frozen tomatoes to the pot as well. I like to reuse the bags so I don't want to cut it up, but it might not come out. Ah, here we go. So better to turn it up already and start melting these. Oh, there is more. Don't know if it's gonna fit. I have to wait for some of these to settle down. I'm gonna just put it on high and put a lid on them. I found one that still has the green stuff on it. That's okay. We'll strain them anyway. Back to washing the carrots and the beets. And because I'm going to store these in the fridge, I'm going to carefully, thoroughly wash them. They're gonna be ready for peeling when I'm ready to use these. And of course I will dry these on the countertop until they're no longer so soaking wet before I put them into the fridge. As you can see, some of them have bug damage, but it's still good. Yeah, I would not eat this little one. And for the beets, again, I'm going to cook these up on another day. I'm going to cut the rest of this up, ready to be cooked. In my fridge. Alright, so I processed everything in the basket, right? That I brought in this morning. So over the days, there are some collections of cucumbers in here that we're gonna deal with probably tomorrow or another day. I have a couple of zucchinis that I have to do something with immediately. It might not be even good anymore, but we'll take a look. And what I'm interested in here is the peppers. So anything that was saved out from previous days, from the harvest, I'm gonna get out of here, except those little pepperoncinis or whatever these called. I don't know what I'm gonna do with that. Someone else is growing those. I did not grow them. There are some beans from the previous days, which I'm gonna may or may not use up because they're looking a little sad. So I'll go through these and see what's still good and what I don't care for. Unfortunately, because again I was away, they've been in here too long. So let's see, here's all. And you can see what happens if somebody puts some wet stuff in here. It's gonna get all foggy in here. That's why there's a paper towel in here, but let's see, there's another one. Okay, I think I got all the peppers that I'm gonna deal with today. There's another bean. I'm gonna put the cucumbers back, and in this drawer these are some peppers from the other garden, from the farm garden. So that will have to come into play. And there were a couple of peppers that I actually bought like a couple of weeks ago. I'm gonna actually freeze that too. And what else is that here? Oh, more peppers. So here are the fresh beans. These few tomatoes will need to ripen more, so I'll put it in my ripening tray. Just settle down. Trying to put the rest in here because they need to fit, right? don't have to worry about tomatoes for another hour probably. As I said earlier, I need to shuffle things around, so I'm gonna move the basil to the other side. And these are the tomatoes that I'm going to use for the tomato pie later, so that's moving as well. And these just need to be dried off, right? So move those to the other side as well. Giving me space here to work on. Well, as far as the fresh green beans, I'm going to put those into a tub because I want them to be nice and fresh for tomorrow's dinner. And I don't know how much of any of these I'm going to save. Anything that doesn't have blemish on it, that looks still fresh, I'm gonna save, and unfortunately the rest will be thrown out. I'm not gonna eat crappy food just because I couldn't eat it earlier. Yeah, these are all gonna be in the compost. Sorry guys. Progress getting space for processing. Although I know these peppers were washed before they were put away, I'm gonna wash them again because I'm gonna put them in the freezer. I don't want any dirt on them, right? Ready to process my peppers. Cut them in half. Take out the core and any seeds that you don't want. And then slice them, dice them to whatever size you normally need for cooking. That's the best way to freeze it. And for me, I like to have them 1/2 inch pieces maybe. I don't like the big pieces. And this will be used for stir fries if I have to make stew. I just want to fry some up with some tomatoes with eggs or fajitas, anything to that effect. This will work. And then I collect them into this colander because I want to have the minimal amount of water in the freezer. Okay, so I cut up all the bell peppers because I don't want to mix the bell peppers with the other type of peppers because they're different thickness as far as the flesh. So this is a meaty type of pepper versus the other ones are more frying peppers. I'm using this size of freezer bags. I just find it more usable to me, because one of these bags will provide me 2 or 3 meals. So for this one I'm probably gonna need 2 or 3, so let's start with 3. And we'll put a date on it and what it is. Bell pepper. Today's 8/23/24. I'll just label 2 for now. So I'm going to divide between these 2 bags. Okay. I'm going to start zipping it. And when it's almost zipped, then I'm going to roll it so all the air will come out of it. And finish zipping it. And then just flatten it out so it can store easily in the freezer that way. And that's it. I'm gonna do the same with the other kind of peppers. I'm gonna probably have the banana peppers in a separate bag from the other kinds, and maybe not, because maybe I don't have enough to fill up more than 1 bag, so we'll see. Still has some air. Let's do this again. So now it goes into the freezer. And just to show you, I still have some from last October. I figure for peppers, I think they're good for a year in the freezer. They probably tell you otherwise, but I'm still gonna use these up. So I'm gonna separate these by type. Because again, we have banana peppers. Don't know what these are. I think these are the same, giant marconi. I think I'm gonna put these in different bags. And the other ones are long hot peppers, so I'm gonna string those up, as I said, when I'm done with those. I'm gonna be saving seeds at a later time, so don't you worry. I'm throwing these out only because I'm waiting for those that are more ripe to get seeds out of. Okay, so this will give me a bag full of giant macaroni. Into the freezer. And lastly, I'm gonna be working on the banana peppers. I'm gonna actually save some for eating because I love this with my sandwiches. So I'm gonna save about 5 of them. So this is gonna be done differently because it's not full yet. I'm just gonna take the air out, but I'm gonna freeze it like this instead of flat because that way I can still add to it. For the long hot peppers, what I do is take any type of string you have, just regular sewing string. And of course a needle. This happens to be a embroidery needle, but at least I can see through it easily. And take a couple of feet and double it up. Just like that. So the first pepper that I'm gonna string, I'm gonna stick it through the stem like that, and then I'm gonna stick it through again because I want to kind of tie it to the first one so they don't fall off. And then I'm gonna tie a knot here. So again, it will hold them all in place. Like that. And now I'm gonna just string them all up. You can stick it through the red part too, doesn't really matter. As they dry, they're probably gonna fall off anyway, eventually, but until then, it's actually gonna make a nice decoration in your kitchen. So you wanna hang it to a nice warm window, near the window, so it can dry naturally. course, as they dry, you're gonna wear less. So you kind of gauge as far as how many you want to put on one string. As long as it doesn't fall off, it should be good. If the string breaks, then you put too much on it. But for me, I think this will be good. I don't even know if that's the hot pepper or not, but I'm gonna just put it on. I think that was just a funky marconi. So you want to put it all the way through, less likely to fall off when it dries. And of course, when this is dry, then I'm just going to crumble it up and it will be used as sort of like a pepper flakes, but these pepper flakes are not going to be as hot as your regular pepper flakes because this is just slightly hot. Okay, so now if you want, you think you're done enough or you have enough on this particular line, you can cut off your needle and now tie the two sides together, two ends together, and this way you will be able to hang it on a hook or a nail or something, or a corner of your cabinet or wherever you can. I'll show you what I'm gonna do in a minute. I think that's good, right? Doesn't come apart, right? And now, right next to my window, I have these hooks for my wooden spoons and stuff, so I can just put that on right here and let them chill. They look nice, don't they? So here's what I got out of those tomatoes, today's harvest, and the frozen tomatoes. And I'm gonna show you again how to can these. I have another video. I'm gonna give you a link right here and in the comments as well. And go ahead and watch that more detailed video. But I've been cooking this down for about 3 hours now. And I'm ready to can it. So that's it for today's preservation of my harvest. See you next time.